Blind Justice with Wade Brown. Employment Law.
It's important for everyone, including people with disabilities, to know your rights in the workplace. I spoke with law professor Eric Adams from the University of Alberta about the duty to accommodate.
What is the duty to accommodate?
So let's imagine that someone has a wheelchair and the employer is not equipped to handle the person in that wheelchair. Human rights law is going to say the employer has to do an awful lot to make that employment place accessible and workable for that individual in the wheelchair, even if it costs money, even if it's inconvenient, even if other employees complain and say, hey, why does that person now get a new kind of more expensive desk? Well, the answer is because it's part of the human rights obligation to accommodate people who have different needs to be able to participate in the workforce. If those costs became so prohibitive that the employer was not able to reasonably bear them, then that employer might be able to say, we've reached the point of undue hardship. This is just too impractical and expensive for us to unfortunately manage the continued employment of this individual. I think that's going to actually be quite rare. Most employers can bear the costs of making their employment, their workplaces accessible. Human rights law obligates them to do so, and I think it actually makes good business practice sense, because you can then attract a more diverse body of talented employees. You're going to be able to retain the talent of disabled individuals, and I think in the long run, everybody wins.
It's so important to know your rights. Knowledge truly is power. If you have any topics you'd like us to cover, or suggestions for future segments, please don't hesitate to drop us a line at thisweek@ami.ca and put Blind Justice in the subject line. For Accessible Media, I'm Wade Brown.